You know, it's pretty interesting how the media is not really talking about this Florida thing as much as you would think they would. Did anybody notice that?
Anytime they do, they just try to blame DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you stand behind Lee County's decision to not have that mandatory evacuation until the day before the storm?
Well, where was your industry station when the storm hit? Were you guys in Lee County? No, you were in Tampa. So that's, they were following the weather track, and they had to make decisions based on that.
If they would have followed their own evacuation orders from what we've reviewed, they should have had that mandatory evacuation order sooner.
They informed people, and most people did not want to do it. I mean, that's just the reality. So, you're in a situation, are you going to grab someone out of their home that doesn't want to? I don't think that's the appropriate use of government. I mean, I think that takes it a little too far.
The hurricanes?
Yeah, they're not talking about the disaster that happened, how
How
bad
is that
the
some
damage was.
politician's fault?
It's not. It's because they don't want to reference Ron DeSantis and the job he's doing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was in Pine Island for the first time today. We were in a situation where that bridge had been severed from the mainland. Some of those folks were told to they're going to have to get off the island, but that's not the way they live. And so they asked us for support to help devise a solution. And so we looked to do maybe ferry people, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just patch this bridge. So it turns out we're going to have that bridge patch this week, so they're going to be able to go and access it.
Because there's a lot of positives. Frankly, the reaction to everything has been, obviously a lot of people are suffering right now. There's still people out power, still people's homes destroyed, but it's been pretty well organized in terms of the response from Florida. So that's one of the reasons they don't want to talk about it.
So I'm in Pensacola, so I didn't get anything really here, but I've seen a lot of the pictures. But DeSantis is crushing it, as he always does.
Yeah.
And that's something that the media and the mainstream don't want to talk about. You can't praise DeSantis.
I mean, it's crazy how
Nothing
many Twitter
happened to me.
weirdos there were that were like celebrating what was happening to Florida as well. It was disgusting.
I saw too many videos of people thinking they were original, talking about, "Hey, Ian, you missed Mar-a-Lago. What happened?"
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
you guys are all doing it. It's not original, and it's not funny either. Like, y'all are assholes.
Democrats put that out, and then they deleted it immediately after.
And of course, when DeSantis comes out and says, "Hey, we do just have to thank, the administration, the White House. They pre-approved these funds. Things reacted quickly, so we thank them for that." That's not okay. You can't just do that. How you were criticizing him a couple weeks before. You're just saying this now. You spent all the money sending those migrants up north. You don't have any money for your own state. That's what it becomes.
That's the same thing. Like it's leftists don't think you can disagree with someone and then still have something nice to say about them, or either in general just like them.
Did the president even call the governor? Did he?
He was not talking to him until he was publicly forced to. There was pressure was there, so then he finally, from what I understand, he made the decision to at least make the phone call prior to the hurricane. He talked to every other person in the state, every major person, but he was avoiding DeSantis because he's a political rival of sorts, is what the perception is. So through public pressure, he finally reached out, from what I understand.
DeSantis comes out and was like, "Hey, if you loot stores, you might get shot."
We want to make sure we're maintaining law and order. Don't even think about looting. Don't even think about taking advantage of people in this vulnerable situation. I can tell you, in the state of Florida, you never know what may be lurking behind somebody's home. And I would not want to chance that if I were you, given that we're a Second Amendment state.
And everyone is like, "How dare he say it?" We're talking about a crime here. Like, this is the laws of Florida. If you break into a store and steal something, you're walking out with a TV, you could get shot, so don't do it. People are losing their minds. Like, how dare he say that? It's like, what are you
worse
talking
though?
about?
It's worse though. They were calling him racist for that, as if people were assuming that only a specific type of person were looters.
How dare Ron DeSantis say that about black people?
Right. It's great about black people. They're like, well,
you think all looters are black people?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, you're kind of telling yourself with the narrative, and they're like, what do you mean? Why would that be racist? They're like, well, because, we've seen California. You've seen this, and you're like, no, I don't know. What do you mean? They're like, come on, don't make me say it.
You know what he meant.